To negotiate with them, you're telling people now to level fund their salaries. Interesting.
It's not a conflict, that's what we're doing for our budget. When we have those negotiations, that will come up, so, like you said, we can't discuss
We
what
can't
we're
really
gonna do.
discuss union negotiations.
I'm not asking you.
Okay, no, but we know, I mean, we
To discuss
understand.
details, I'm
And
talking overall philosophy.
I think at the last, 3 years ago when we had these negotiations, you know, the unions realized what was going on in the town.
Yeah.
and,
I
you know,
just hope that when you get through your negotiations, that the results of your negotiation then becomes public record.
Oh, once the contracts are signed, they become
They're
public, I
public
believe. So,
They are,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just before they're negotiated and finished.
I realize you
Yeah.
can talk about details.
Okay.
That wasn't the point I was raising.
Gotcha.
I had a
Yes.
question, and it's procedural, and I'm not sure, I just wanted to talk about it. On personnel, we had discussed, but we didn't actually draft and vote on the wording to abolish, is that what we were doing?
Rescind.
Rescind
Yeah.
the personnel bylaw, okay? But we didn't submit it, because we didn't have a meeting to vote on it
Oh, okay.
prior. So I don't know how we as a board want to handle that.
So what did you want to do, abolish the personnel committee?
The personnel board and the selectmen would act as the personnel.
As the personnel
Okay.
board. Yeah.
If the bylaw creates the personnel board and appoints people to the personnel board and
Then you
explains how the board operates,
Yeah.
then the board created all these policies and procedures.
Right.
If you simply rescind the bylaw,
Yeah.
there is no personnel board, you become the personnel board. All the policies and procedures are still there, you have to vote them, you just put on your personnel hat. You have a personnel board meeting, just like you have a licensing board meeting.
I believe it was also one of those things the Department of Revenue suggested.
Yes, they did, yeah.
And it just takes another layer out,
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
that's what happened. with
So
Lake Plain
the question
Paintball.
is, because we didn't get it onto our agenda
Right.
last week and the warrant is technically closed,
Right.
what, okay, well, didn't we? I gotta think, last year we reopened the warrant, and again, but I don't know, that's not really an emergency,
I know.
that's the only thing.
Yeah,
We could put it, couldn't we put it on the special within the annual?
no. That's
No,
for
because of the
cleaning up.
bylaw change.
Right.
Oh,
It
Has
has
to
to
be
be
annual.
at the end.
okay. Bob?
What did the articles do for the special?
2 weeks, well, we didn't, actually,
don't know
did we
if we-
close 2 weeks before? That's when we have to post them a week before, 7 days before. but
The
that's-
special.
No, special we have to post 2 weeks.
14 days, yeah.
I mean, when did they,
The
Um,
24th, did we vote that, the 24th?
We voted something.
That was the original vote for all articles to be in.
Right.
Right, was it
fourth?
April 24th?
Yes.
Yeah, April
Yeah.
24th
April 24th.
for the special. Right, and then we changed the annual ones and left the special ones April 24th. That is correct. Okay, so,
I don't know what you want to do, so.
I suppose, because does it have to be done at annual town meeting, or it can be done? at a-
Bylaws have to be done at annual.
All right.
and you don't want to wait another year. But, I mean, I guess we could have Jeff look into the possibility of just
Probably.
reopening it on Monday to put that article in.
You have to,
See
I'll
if
call
we-
town council tomorrow and see what he says. We'd
Yeah.
have to post
Yeah.
because you have to post
Third
that.
Thursday.
And allow other people to come in too.
for next Monday's meeting, so we could be a regular posting, but I'll do that first thing in the morning
Okay.
and get an answer.
All right, anything else?
I have a couple of small things.
Okay.
I need you to sign, Mr. Chairman, a sewer department contract for their septic receiving. They voted this at the sewer commission, and the chairman there signed it, just needs your contract signature. the item I wanted to bring up is that we have a very limited window, which is why I want to discuss it for 5 minutes and no more. The district local technical assistance at Montechusett Regional Planning. He needs a letter from this town by the 23rd, which essentially is Friday, if we wish to apply for free assistance. I have in front of me tonight 2 proposals, though I think Selectman Farrell had a third and there may be a fourth. The easy ones, the no-brainers, is that the planning board got a call. I met with Glenn Eaton in my office Thursday morning. It's the first time I've actually had a face-to-face with the gentleman. We've bumped into each other. It was the first time we actually met. He said, well, just file something. They want to work with us, they want to help us, and this is free. So what they propose from their side is through our planning department, that they basically help us do the next phase of our master plan, right? The mapping, the mapping provision, which is develop a potential map that depicts constraints, develop lands, future developable lands using GIS tools, et cetera, et cetera. And the result of that little consult would be a map depicting environmental and development potential of residentially zoned land, which is also a requirement of the planning process for the master plan. That's one idea. Another idea was the one that I polled folks here in Town Hall and said, why not go back to study, a study had been done and closed a long time ago to study the Four Corners in East Templeton, and to look at the possibility of a rotary or roundabout, a traffic study and traffic engineering. Do the traffic count. The idea here, of course, is to get it on the tip sheet and have it federally funded in the due course. And you can't go down the road unless you start. The start would be to have them do a transportation study of the rotary possibility and then draw it out and, you know, just an idea.
Is this at Patriots Road, North Main?
Right,
Yep.
at Crossroads Restaurant,
Yep.
Camelot, that intersection, re-engineer the intersection.
Parking lot with 5 roads going into it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, don't call that Four Corners.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
That's not Four Corners in East
No.
Templeton. Four Corners is
It's up-
further up,
up
by
North
Partridgeville
Main
and
Street.
and
what would you call that
Factory.
intersection colloquially?
That's hell, especially at 3 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Doesn't it have a name, the intersection?
Parking lot with 5 entrances and no exits.
Yeah, it's just the intersection.
Okay. The intersection of Route 2A, Route 101, and
Yeah.
Main Street. Okay.
South Main, North Main.
Yeah, exactly.
In any event, those are 2 ideas. The other idea that came up, of course, was to consider having them do a performance contracting survey or study to help us do a performance contracting RFP for East Templeton Elementary School. And that's also the kind of work that they do under these very limited little grants.
Well, it doesn't hurt to get information,
Yeah.
if it's free especially. The other thing though.
They
that
won't
I-
do all 3, will they?
It's,
Well, they'll do a couple for us. I think they do any 2
No,
that we choose.
Before this, I had already called Glenn and we're supposed to be meeting about the regionalization of the health inspector.
Okay.
So is that deleted now?
No. I mean, that's not necessarily a technical study.
Right,
I'd say go ahead, go
Okay.
down the road, absolutely. But I just need, because ultimately, the chairman of this board's gonna sign the letter sometime like Friday, which I will draft based on whatever you want, to ask them for. I think they do 2 of these for us. I don't think they do 3 or 4. So we need to pick 2.
I'd recommend you concentrate on East Templeton.
that's a really
Yeah,
good idea. I
Between
don't-
the intersection,
In the school?
which is, intersection to me is the most
Yeah,
dangerous, one of the most dangerous we have in town.
it is.
Put the lights back.
Exactly, headlights.
But I think a site,
Yeah.
like Jeff had said, we may not hit the tip list in 10 years, but you gotta start, every
Did we
project
have
starts
lights
with
in?
planning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There are lights there all the time.
Every project
Wait.
starts with
Couldn't
planning.
remember.
Why not
Back
get it
34
done?
years ago when I first came into town,
I
the
had a
lights
big
there.
GAR hall there too at that time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had the lights all over.
Yeah.
The
They
lights
did the
worked
study.
super. So they got the-
Well, that's
Well,
what
that
they
was,
was
that was
looking to study.
before they did a one-way to the other road there,
So,
increase the amount of
Okay,
traffic.
so
I think that's a
if
good
Fine.
idea.
that one.
Kirk doesn't have a problem with not doing the map.
The map.
I think that the map, I mean, we're all right, but we have planning board's constantly, that's why we have an article on
Yep.
this year. Actually, Bob Whalen's the one that picked up on just studying the map, and it's like, hey, why is that green? It's supposed to be purple, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have quite a bit of commercial, you never have enough commercial industrial base in any town for jobs and tax revenues, but we have, not abundance of it, we have a lot that's not being used yet because of the economy.
Mhm.
So if we had like no industrial commercial space left and no highway business left, the planning board would handle that on their own anyways through public hearing and
Okay.
town floor. We wouldn't need MRPC's help on it, where, like Jeff said, that's intersection of state highways, and so that would be tip money, and, you know, I think that's well worth pursuing it.
Okay.
It's something, that's too big for the planning board to embark on, because you're talking all state and federal stuff. We're trying to just.
Engineering.
We're trying to help
Yeah.
the towns, other towns, other neighborhoods with local input. That's, you don't even
So,
tell me you killed that intersection.
the East Templeton intersection and then the school.
Okay. So it's nice that we're focusing on East Templeton a little, which.
Let's get out of Back Bay for a change.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all due respect to people who live in Back Bay.
I just wanted to mention with, about the mapping, which I am, with my update of my mapping, cartographics, we got the digital of the zoning overlay, and for no cost, cartographics is gonna put the zoning overlay on cartographics. Now,
Once we change the map.
I sent notification to every department when, 2 years ago, when we implemented cartographics, telling them they could get overlays, and if they do it, if they give the digital version, this time of year, when I'm updating, it's free to put in whatever overlay they want. I let water, and everybody ignored my email. It's nice, it's a nice website, isn't it?
The planning uses it, yeah, we use it exclusively now.
Now,
that's right.
yeah, and I let light and water know if they wanna mark their hydrants or their whatevers, or, yeah, water lines.
Are you still trying to get those people to do that?
Well, I said if, I let them know any digital, but like I talked to Dawn at the building, you know, half the people in town, I was like, did you not read my email? Look on the assessors page, there's a link. I mean, it's wonderful, it's
Yeah.
nice, you know, you can see everybody's boundaries and things like that. And now we're gonna have the zoning overlays, so.
Mr. Dennis?
I think one of the other things, and I think I mentioned it, maybe to Mr. Machete, that years ago when they did the master plan, they came out with a town map. And at that time, we were told the planning board were responsible for the legal town map. And up to this point in time, I don't think we have a legal town map. Now, I should think that that should be part of this total discussion, so to speak, about a town map. I'm impressed with what they've done with, at the Board of Assessors, because they maybe have one of the more up-to-date maps. So somewhere you should end up with a legal town map.
Can I ask through you, Chris? What's your what do you mean, a legal town? We have a town map that depicts all the zoning districts and from residential, commercial, highway, business, so on and so forth. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I think if you go back into your files, you're going to find a town map, legal town map for the town of Templeton, the last time they did the master plan. And you have a copy of it somewhere.
I think I've seen it, it's like
Sure, right,
1956.
a
Street map, a street map is
Yeah, a
fine.
street map.
Okay.
It was like 1956, wasn't it, Bumps?
Huh?
Like 1956, was it? It was like,
Yeah.
Well,
It's pretty
yeah,
old map.
You have no legal
Right.
town map when you come to roads.
the next map after that was the one you drew up, that was not legal.
Right, but you see that I put a disclaimer on.
Not a legal map, right.
Because
Not to say
I
else.
put it on purpose because I knew that the Board of Assessors and myself was not
Right.
the legal person to put out a town map.
Yeah.
And somewhere in here, I would hope they would take the information really that the Board of Assessors have, because Mr. Henshaw was showing me, and they've done a tremendous job. But somewhere you have to have a procedure where whenever you have a new legal town road that is added to your the town map. And of course, the town clerk is the one that keeps the record, and there is an official road book for the town of Templeton.
I think it's because, through you, Chris, I think it's because the maps, once it goes through planning, once they're legal town roads and they start getting assessed, that's when they get recorded with their, it comes back, and that's when Sue, whenever the assessors updates the books, that's when we see.
They update the assessors.
Assessors book, yeah.
Right.
No, I understand what Buck's saying, I'll have to look into it, if
Okay.
that's something we're charging, but,
We'll do that after we fix East Templeton Center then.
oh, yeah.
I
With
did
this-
talk
with
to
this close
Mr.
to
Eaton
getting the
about
master
that.
plan done too, another maybe 4 years, we're hoping in 2, but.
Okay. Anything else, Jeff? Anything else from anybody else? I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Yes.
yes.
Next Monday, 6:30.
I don't like that, but you have to step on